Today on Out of the Box, Into the Ring, we're looking at our favorite Canadian ECW wrestler.
The one and only Lance Storm.
Let's take it to the ring.
That's it. Let's check him out.
Hey, this is Matthew.
And this is Rich from Rageworks.
Welcome back to Out of the Box, Into the Ring. And today we're taking a look at our favorite Canadian wrestler from ECW.
Someone who is always serious, but only for a minute, the one and only Lance Storm.
And someone who is not on camera because, well, his
packaging suffered a mishap. Lance Storm was so extreme that he already broke out of the package.
Really did, because, yeah, you can see how yellow this thing is. These did not... Yeah, goodbye. Those didn't last very long, but you guys have seen the packaging already. And we've already seen Lance Storm. In fact, he's been our stunt dummy in almost all of our videos.
That's it. But this Lance Storm, freshly colored.
Yes, that's right. This is we have a different Lance Storm. We'll share that in a second. But yeah, we're going to talk about all the different Lance Storms. But just so you guys get a quick look again, here's our typical packaging, what we've seen in all the figures. The back is the same, except this is Wave 2 packaging. So, excuse me, crappy front part. You can see the other figures who joined the line.
And it went up $1.
Yeah. You can see here we talked about previously that the Just Incredible was $3.99. Well, now it's $4.99.
That's it.
Highway robbery.
Second wave went up a whole buck.
It really did.
Since he was so extreme and he broke out of the package, let's head to the ring.
And there he is.
There he is. Super serious, looking like a Power Ranger, as usual.
And we're back, and you might notice that you're seeing double. There are 4 Lance Storms here. But no, we have here is 2 different Lance Storms. You guys have seen the green one a few times already, I believe. And so the green one would have been the first wave. This one here, the red one, is a repaint that came out later.
Before we move them off to the side, we did notice one thing. This Lance Storm, the repaint actually had a change to the arm as well. This arm has the tape, much like the green Lance Storm, but this Lance Storm was just an unpainted arm with a pad that was on it, while this Lance Storm didn't have a pad on his elbow joint, which was definitely a bit of a difference. But this just shows that obviously parts were reused when you when you gave him a flesh colored elbow pad.
Pretty much, yeah. And I wanted to show them side by side just so you can see, again, first wave is green. We're not going to use him because we're using a green screen. So that's the last you're going to see of green Lance Storm.
That's it. You're out of here.
Goodbye. So here's our red Lance Storm. And just, also, as we mentioned with a different color, Lance is one of those characters that his outfit is actually iconic to certain specific times and matches.
That's right.
So as I was doing research about these figures, I kind of figured out what time period they even based the toys on. And these are meant to be around middle of 1998.
Okay.
So the green Lance Storm is actually the outfit he wore when he was tagging with Chris Candido.
All right.
And this red version here is actually from ECW Heatwave 98 when he feuded and wrestled against Candido. And in fact, as I found out that Candido we have, in fact, if you want to bring him over here, we'll show him off. That Candido is the exact outfit he wore at their match at 98. And the reason we know that is because of the blue socks. Because otherwise, Candido's not, nothing really that special about his outfits.
No, he usually wears pretty much black trunks, sometimes with a little gold and his initials. But yeah, I'm holding him up just to ensure that he stands and doesn't...
His weird little stance he's got.
Yeah, and knock poor Lance over. But yeah, this is the match from the gear from their Heatwave 98 match.
And the only thing that is really different from his normal outfit would be the blue socks.
And there's more than one figure of him too, right?
There is another variant. We talked about him in our video. There's a yellow pants variant that he never, ever wore.
Oh, jeez.
ECW toys. Well, let's super kick Candido on out of here.
That's it. You're out of here.
Well, we'll try. No.
That's it.
Close enough.
Close enough.
And so as we mentioned on the back of packages of some of the later toys, there is in fact a third Lance Storm figure that never came out. That was part of the 2-packs. And so in that 2-pack, the outfit he's wearing is the blue outfit. Again, similar kind of design of the green one. The blue one, I believe, is actually from 97 at Barely Legal when he wrestled Rob Van Dam.
Oh, okay.
So as far as I can tell, Lance Storm is the figure who would have had the most repaints that were the most accurate to actually have matches.
And San Francisco toy makers keeping it as authentic as possible, gave Lance Storm a fresh pair of Nikes.
Yeah, look at that, folks. Look at that copyright infringement right there.
And an Ace elbow pad.
Yeah, not only is he wearing one copyright infringement, he's got 2 on there.
That's it.
which is really cool, and I'm like shocked they get away with that stuff, but I guess no one caught him. And yeah, again with the Green Landstorm as well, he also had like a logo on his boots, which, you know, it's just crazy they got away with this stuff.
Yep.
You cannot do that today.
No, absolutely. Companies would definitely come looking for you for copyright infringement.
And to be totally fair, they couldn't have gotten away with this back in the day either, but no one really seemed to care because it's ECW that went, as always, under the radar.
Yep. Even the figures under the radar.
So what do you think about the likeness, Rich?
I think the likeness is pretty close. I mean, Lance Storm had a very iconic crew cut Birdman look to him that is embodied in every figure. He always looked like a Power Ranger. This reinforces that fact. It's funny because when he was in TNA wrestling at the time, he had Team Canada, and his ring gear was still very similar. Obviously, triangle replaced by maple leaf, if I remember correctly, at the time. But Lance Storm has always been pretty consistent. His moveset, his approach to his character has been pretty much the same throughout every iteration of his career.
Yeah. And outfit-wise, I mentioned, of course, is pretty darn accurate, I would say. It's got the kick pads, it's got the swoosh.
Yep.
So that's pretty great. Back to the Pat figure as well. This one's a little beat up. I actually got this one loose somewhere. And normally, you know, we wouldn't even show off the variants, but I just happened to get them loose, so I figured why not. And plus, it's going to work better for us than the green one.
Yep, absolutely. The action feature on this figure was an uppercut. There you go.
Which actually works pretty good. Hasn't broken yet, unlike many of the other toys we reviewed here.
It's funny because I would have probably, instead of I would have leveraged the closed fist to do an uppercut.
Yeah, but the reason they went with that is actually because of his accessory. Lance Storm
comes with a chair.
At least the original version. This one did not come with a chair, I don't think, but he comes with that chair so that he could actually whip it around.
Oh, there you go.
So, well, goodbye.
There you go.
But yeah, with the weapon, it actually works out pretty well.
Yeah, in that regard, absolutely. I just feel that if you try to do anything else, it seems a little more unnatural.
Yeah.
If you're trying to, especially if you're a kid and you're trying to have some sort of a wrestling match with your figures, it's tough to kind of get that. I mean, you could probably even get away with making it maybe like a chop if he was doing a chop in the corner. That might work.
Well, why don't we go ahead and take our Lance Storm into the ring and see how he holds up.
That's it.
So we got Lance Storm in the ring. I think it's obvious who his opponent should be, and that should be the guy whose outfit he's wearing the match from.
That's right.
He's right over there.
Chris Candido. Janky-legged Chris Candido.
Oh, my goodness. Not janky-legged Chris Candido.
That's it. That actually works, Dan.
That actually does look really good, yeah.
That's it.
That's how he's supposed to kind of look. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for, though. He works good standing against the turnbuckle, like kind of charging out.
Yeah, but standing on his own, well...
Not so much.
So we're going to relive Heatwave 98 right now by testing out Lance Storm. And, you know, Lance Storm is a real good technical wrestler, but that's not really as fun to do.
No, definitely not.
So I think the first thing we got to try and test out, if you want to hold him up for me, is let's test out that action feature again. So, yeah, that's fairly easy.
Not too bad.
No, I mean, let's try him out with his chair, though.
And that's it. Beat him to death.
Weak chair shots, not anymore. Oh, look at his arm, though.
Oh, my God, what happened? Praying Mantis Lance Storm. That's it. You know, it's weird, though. Like, you could still do like an elbow almost.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, you can still hit him with other weapons. I mean, here's a 2x4 if you want to try that out. So this is now revenge for all the times that Lance Storm got beat up by all of our other figures in our past reviews.
That's it. Oh, the 2x4 definitely works.
Oh, that was hardcore.
That's it.
Just cracked his skull open, I think. But the big question is, can you do the super kick? And the answer is kind of, sort of, not really.
Kind of, sort of, not really. Like, maybe like a big boot type deal.
You can kind of fake it, sort of, I would say. But it's like, you know, because of how the legs are made, you can't exactly do a proper super kick.
You know, thinking about the quote-unquote extreme nature of these figures, you know what I've always wondered? What year were there figures that you could wipe them and it would look like they had battle damage? Are you aware of that feature? Only because it would have been cool if you would have wiped them, like if they would have been looking like they were battle damage, like if they were bleeding.
Yeah.
That would have been cool for that.
I mean, there was the Maximum Sweat figures that WWE had that were like big, hideous caricatures of their guys, and you had a little sweat vial where you could have water come out of them, and that way, if you were cute, you get like some red food coloring in that water and do it that way. But
only reason I ask is if I remember, I believe it was Toy Biz that was doing the DC figures. No, was it Toy Biz? No, it was the Mr. Freeze you'd put in the fridge.
That was
he
that
turned
was,
blue.
Toy Biz, yeah.
And the Iceman that would change color. Only because, like, thinking back to this, like, imagine you spray them with a little water, it looks like they're battle damage. I mean, obviously a little extreme, but still, I think it would have worked for this line.
That would have actually been kind of cool. Yeah, that could have worked.
That would have definitely worked. Like, you hit them with the chair, and then obviously you wipe a little water, and they have, like, battle damage.
Yeah, but again, this is Galoob making ECW toys. So, I mean, you're talking now having a budget? Come on.
I wonder how that... Wow, that's actually good for a suplex spot. Yep, pretty good, actually. That actually works.
That works pretty nice. Yeah, and that's actually because of how the arms are. And again, this action feature in particular kind of lends itself to it because you could actually kind of sort of do a suplex like this.
Yep, suplex actually works. This articulation, for as much as a Candido figure was great to look at, in terms of just posability, probably the worst of the bunch.
It's hard to go back to this because, again, it's like this Lance Storm, it's kind of a vanilla figure. And we're kind of like now focusing more on Chris Candido because, again, it's just such a not great entry in the series.
Well, no. The reason I even bring it up is because if you even wanted to have any sort of playability to recreate this match, I mean, kids were just clanking them together anyway. But still, it's just night and day difference at that point. Lance Storm, at least, posability-wise, it worked. And he was able to stand on his own, which was huge. But outside of that, I just feel it was just such a big departure between the two figures in terms of just posability and just in overall presentation. Kind of takes away from it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. So that's our look at ECW's Lance Storm figure from original San Francisco Toy Makers. You know, as much as we beat up on it, because it is such kind of a plain figure, it's also a very good representation of Lance Storm.
100%. Probably as accurate as you can get. I'm trying to think of how many other companies did... WWE did a Lance Storm, right?
I think there was at least one Lance Storm.
At least one, right?
And I think that might be it. Don't think
I
anybody
don't
else
even
got around him.
Did WCW have a figure line? No, right?
No, yeah, WCW did. Yes, WCW did, but they never made Lance Storm in that line.
Okay.
Yeah. So he didn't get too many figures. I don't remember if Figures Toy Company has done one of him yet in their style. If they haven't, I'm sure they will at some point. But, yeah, I mean, Lance is luckily one of the more common ones to get as well, so it's easy to find him, and it's a good one to have.
I actually wanted to throw a correction out there. I believe earlier on we were mentioning, I said that he had Team Canada in Impact Wrestling. He had Team Canada in WCW with Primetime Elix Skipper. Elix Skipper was part of, he was with Christopher Daniels and Low-Key in Triple X in Impact. That's why I did want to correct that. No Lance Storm involvement. See?
I thought he did show up. Yeah, I said something like I'm conflating too because he was always involved in a Canadian angle.
Yep.
But he did have his team in WCW, which also got Hacksaw Jim Duggan. But
did it?
Yeah, he turned heel and became Canadian.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember just him, Elix Skipper. I feel they had one more person.
Yes, they did, and I can't remember who it was, but I'll put him a picture right now.
All right.
So that's our Lance Storm, and it's pretty nice. Definitely worth picking up.
Yep. If you're an ECW fan or a Lance Storm fan and want to add a cool figure to your collection, definitely get a cosign from me for this one.
And now he can go back to his home in Vancouver or Toronto or wherever the heck part of Canada he's from and go scoop up some snow.
That's it.
So I'm Matthew.
I'm Rich from RageWorks.
See you guys next time for another extreme edition of Out of the Box Into the Ring.
Peace.